I know it's very late for a lot of people. I know it is very early for a lot of people. Let's say in my friends in Europe are probably not going to see this because it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning for them right now. It is, however, kind of late for if you're on the East Coast as well, but not that late if you're in California, Hawaii, whatever. I'm not gonna. This card, this first edition Blaine's Arcanine PSA 10, is one of the many cards that I'm selling right now in order to buy Bitcoin and OMI. And why I'm doing that is because right now, hey Gary Carter, how's it going? What I've seen the last couple of several months is that you're having this huge transition from fiat money, dollars, over to cryptocurrency, and it's not like 2017 where I've heard people say, yeah, I remember this happened in 2017. I bought Bitcoin at like $10,000, $15,000, went up to 17, then it crashed right down like 4 grand, 3 grand, whatever it was. Yeah, that happened, but big institutions weren't getting in at that time. Companies like Square, Tesla, MicroStrategy, they weren't going and they weren't saying like, hey, let me go and put in Bitcoin on my balance sheet. That wasn't happening 4 years ago, but it's happening now. And how I made my Jack Mitchell, have you heard of OMI? Of course. How's it going, Jack? How I made my fortune, the second business that I started running was because of Pokemon. Well, it's on Litecoin. And no, I like Ethereum much more than Litecoin. Litecoin's been around for a long time. Litecoin's been around almost as long as Bitcoin, but it just hasn't really moved. It's stable. It's just not. It's something if you want to hedge your bet against, the dollar or something else, keep your value. That'll be fine. But what I'm doing is Bitcoin. I think is a lot. That's if you're going to go in the safest cryptocurrency is definitely Bitcoin. The ones with the most potential upside, with also the most risk, is going to be stuff, that's worth pennies, like something like OMI right now, which I made my fortune two different ways, or a couple different ways. One was high risk lending, my first business. One of the other ways was my second business in Pokemon cards, specifically higher end. This one, not as higher end. This is worth maybe $3,500, give or take. I have a couple of these though, a couple in Charizards. Biggest one is what's called a Trophy Kangaskhan. That one is on the works of being sailed too. That is going to be well into the six figures. It's going to be well over $300,000, and most of which is going into altcoins. It's going into crypto. It's going into Bitcoin and OMI. Right now, I am selling my Pokemon cards and my Bitcoin in order to buy OMI, and then I'm throwing a bunch into Earth 2 there as well. So everyone I see gave it. Oh yes, I did do a touch up. Hey, Ari Realty, yeah, owe me to the moon. I think I finally figured out the Borax stuff. Can't watch, brother. I'm working. All right, catch you later, Ninja Games. You are the best. I see you in Discord all the time. So this is something where the potential upside for certain things, like OMI, is going to go to the heckin' moon. And when I say that, I mean like right now it's because most coins, what they do is they follow Bitcoin. Like it's attached to Bitcoin in a way. Whatever Bitcoin does, other coins will go. Sometimes if Bitcoin goes up, they'll go up a little bit. If Bitcoin goes down a lot, they'll only go down a little bit. But on which cases, sometimes Bitcoin does this, OMI will do this. If Bitcoin does this, OMI will do this, and that's what's been happening. It's gone from $65,000 a Bitcoin to 55,000. And at the same time, OMI went from like a penny, 1.1 pennies to about half that, about 0.007 cents, 0.008 cents, whatever. It's under a penny. But now that Bitcoin had a support line of about $51,000, and it went below that. That is very, very bearish short term for Bitcoin. That 51,000 support line, if it stayed there, I saw it go there, bounce up a little bit, and then go down to like 49,000. And that, again, short term is very, very bearish. So I'm seeing, and what OMI did is it went from 0.007, 0.006, it's now 0.0059 or 58. I think it touched 0057. And I'm okay with selling some Bitcoin at a loss because I buy it every week. And why I'm okay with that is because, let's say I buy Bitcoin at $60,000 and then, I sell at 55 or 50. Yeah, that's a nice 18% loss. That's a big one. But at that same time, if I'm buying OMI, even if it's at 0.007 cents, and then I buy it at 0.006 cents, and I'm losing money. It doesn't matter. In my mind, it doesn't matter because you're getting it so cheap. Like I told the people that were following me to buy Tesla, last year, and again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, just my close friends like Ari Realty, who tell them to buy Tesla. And it doesn't matter if you got it then at 300 or 600. Also, Ethereum's down 10%, down to $2,200 in the last 17 hours. Just saying. Anyway, what I was saying about Tesla, it doesn't matter if you buy it at 500 or 600 or 800. That was before the split, because it's gone up so much since then. And it doesn't matter to me, again, and we don't have a crystal ball, but if it goes in the trajectory that I think it's going to go long term, it doesn't matter if you buy at 0.005 cents or even 1 cent, or anywhere in between, because it's going to go to, I believe, 10 cents by the end of the year. Some people are very bullish. They say 10 cents by the end of the summer because they have so much stuff yet to drop. They have so much things. Like, everyone's going to be on the marketplace next week. Every single person that wants to be on the marketplace will be on the marketplace next week. You're going to be able to convert your OMI into gems. So this way, that people that have a lot of OMI, but you know what? Well, didn't get that much overtime this week. I don't want to put $100 worth of gems in there, but I have definitely $100 worth of OMI can convert into gems to buy a new NFT that's dropping. People are going to do that. I'm getting some comments here. So Bitcoin is on a discount. Yes, it is. So I actually sold what was called a Espeon. For anyone that knows Pokemon, Eevee, one of the evolutions involved in the Espeon. First edition PSA 10, sold for $5,000. And the guy paid in Bitcoin, actually. So he sent it to my Coinbase address, and I sent a little bit of that to Aria Realty. It's like, hey, buy some Bitforex, buy some OMI for me on Bitforex. And I'm in the process of doing that now. I put some from my Cash App and my Coinbase into the Bitforex. I'm going to see if it transfers. If it does, I'm going all in, and I'm going to transfer most of my Bitcoin into Bitforex just so I can buy OMI. And why I'm doing that is because, again, I just sold that card was one of 78. Only 78 other cards were like that in the world, first edition PSA 10. I sold that, I only had one, because that card that I sold for $5,000 now, in the next 3 to 5 years, that'll be $10,000. That'll be a $10,000 card easy. But why I'm okay with missing out on those gains is because the gains that I see with OMI, instead of doubling or 2xing, I could see a 10x. In 5 years, that could literally 100x. That OMI could 100x in that time. Again, if you want to invest in crypto, Bitcoin is probably the safest because, again, big institutions are coming in. You're going to have all of these ETFs coming in. But, you're going to, over the next 10 years, maybe that's $1 million a coin, a 1.2 million a coin, whatever, and beyond. And I think it's definitely going to do that. But OMI, instead of going 18x on your money or 20x on your money, OMI, you're going to get 100x in half the time. Again, just my opinion. And it's actually would be closer to 200x right now, like 180x, because it's not even a penny. It's down to it's less than 0.006 cents. That's what it has been. Moving on to comments. See Gary's view about buying ETH for May 5th. I did see something about that. I'm not sure why. You're not buying ETH. I think he's doing something in the crypto industry, and he wants you to have ETH for May 5th. I did see something about that. I'm not sure why. Hey, what's up, Yuki? How's it going? Yuki, you're going to be mad at me. I sold my first edition PSA 10 Espeon from Neo Discovery. I know it's an evolution that you love, but I needed to do it for these huge Bitcoin and OMI gains that I see in the future. ULYX says, which coins you talking about, man? Hitting 10 cents. That is OMI. OMI is going to be, again, just my opinion, I think will be 10 cents before the end of the year. One of my first videos that I did, I said OMI to 17x by next year, which is very, very bullish for... If you're in the stock market, again, classic investing, Warren Buffett wants to hire you if you are making 20% on average per year, beating the market. Because there are very few people that can do that. Most people that can do that work for Warren Buffett. Again, consistently. I'm not talking about last year when the market took a dip and everyone, made, 2x their money. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about consistently year over year what that does. And if you make over 12% each year on the market, you're considered like, oh, you're a genius. But so me saying 17x by next year, again, one of my first videos for OMI, a lot of people were saying like, oh, are you a bear? I was like, no, like I'm very bullish on it. That's why I'm making videos about it. And then people are saying, well, that's not really not. And then again, the more I look into it, the more I am convinced that this is going to, again, NFTs are here to stay. And in that same breath, I'll say most NFTs are going to be poop. Like, if you're going to make an NFT of this water bottle, it's not going to mean anything. But making NFTs of stuff that's nostalgic, Like, I get emotional when I just look at these cards, not even what I'm selling. I'm not gonna lie, I've shed a few tears having to sell these cards, and just not because they mean so much to me. One, they're extraordinarily rare, they're extraordinarily expensive and hard to get, but also because it takes me back to a time where I love the Gym Challenge series, because it's not just a random Arcanine, it's Blaine's Arcanine from the game, from the anime, from the video games, whatever you want. And that's what everyone is going to feel when buying these Batman NFTs, these Harley Quinn NFTs. If you're not into superheroes, first off, how dare you? Second off, okay, they have everything from Ghostbusters to the NFL's coming out. So when people are saying that Top Shot is like, yeah, well, it's not going to compete with Top Shot. That's got, NBA. Okay, it's got NBA. It's got one thing. It's got packs. But VV's app is going to have contracts with the NFL, and that's going to drop. And then you're going to see the same thing again. It's going to have packs also. Right now, you have NFTs that are interactive. It's very cool. The DeLoreans from Back to the Future, Powerpuff Girls, Mr. Mojo Jojo is my man. I felt so bad for him in that one episode where I just really got the poop beat out of him. Thetany says, buy BTT. What is BTT? Let me know. Analysis said Bitcoin could hit 300. All right, so Richard Kainer, that says 300K by the end of 2022. Up until a couple months ago, or up until recently, the highest estimate of Bitcoin by the end of the year was by Citibank. Citibank said it could reach $300,000 by the end of the year, until Bloomberg came out it might have been even this month in April, it was a couple weeks ago, where they said that, no, we think it could be $400,000 by the end of the year. Now, here's what I'm thinking as well. You have two ETFs in Bitcoin ETFs in Canada, and you have three Bitcoin ETFs in Brazil. And that is putting pressure on the US because the SEC right now is pretty crypto friendly. And a lot of other people, like I think one of the guys at Binance, they hired one of the former people that was in charge of the treasury. They do that all the time to just kind of legitimize what they're doing. That puts pressure on the US to have to approve the ETFs, and like 9 or 12 Bitcoin ETFs are already filed. Like they're filed, they're just waiting for approval. They have until October 28th to start approving the first one, and so on and so forth. And what that's going to do is, all right, yeah, Canada ETF, they have a little bit of money. Brazil, because they're in the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, they have a little bit of money as well. Nobody can compare to the amount of money that's in the US. When right now, big institutions are buying. If you think that these companies like Citibank and Bloomberg and Fidelity and JP Morgan and Chase, they're all putting out their estimates of what Bitcoin will be by the end of the year. If you think that those presidents, those CEOs, vice presidents, all of those people in that company are not hoarding as much Bitcoin as they can, sorely mistaken. Because right now you have an average of about 900 Bitcoin being mined every single day, and about 2,700 each day are being taken out of the marketplace by people like Square, by people like MicroStrategy, just from these big companies, not including the millionaires and the billionaires. And speaking of billionaires, these people at Fidelity and these people at JP Morgan and Chase, they're saying like, Wells Fargo also, they're saying like, hey, yeah, we're going to offer Bitcoin to some of our clients, but only the clients that are worth 10 million and more. How classist is that BS? How BS is that? Like, they don't want us pories to get into Bitcoin because, like, God forbid we get anything to make something of ourselves, get a little bit of leg up. No, they don't want it. They want to keep that thing going and get a little bit into, get a little rant. So I'm going to go here in the comment section. You can, oh, heck yeah, it's okay. Sam Brent says, someone said ETH was buying Uniswap for, find me a link on that, Sam Brent. Comment more down below if anyone has heard of that, because that's really interesting news. Yuki said, I got Nine Tails too. Oh, very nice, Nine Tails. Gotcha. Fox said, what if I told you LTC has no competitors for the position of digital gold, and it's having 2 years behind Bitcoin? LTC is 12.5, LTC mined per 10-minute Bitcoin. The reserve currency for crypto is Bitcoin. That is what everyone's going into. I don't see anyone putting Dogecoin or Litecoin or Ethereum on their balance sheets. There is a couple of people that actually have Ethereum. I don't think it's on their balance sheets yet. For the most part, it's just Bitcoin. Until somebody else starts saying like, yeah, we'll put this on our balance sheet as well, then that's a horse of a different color. But right now, to my knowledge, nobody else is doing that. Again, Litecoin is it definitely has its place. Again, it's been around almost as long as Bitcoin for a long time. So it has proven itself, whereas other coins might have not yet. They've only been around for a couple of years. But that decade, that 12-year mark is when usually and Litecoin's been successful through that. So it's good. I'm not knocking it, but the digital gold position, that's Bitcoin. That's everyone and their sister is going to be having that. Like, again, if you want to have a full Bitcoin, if there's about 59 million millionaires in the world, if they all wanted one Bitcoin, they can't do it. They cannot. It's impossible because there's only 21 million Bitcoin that can ever be mined. And many of those are not there anymore. Digital silver. Okay, digital silver. There you go. Gary Carter says, woke up early as this popped up on my phone from the UK. It's 4:30 a.m. What's up, Gary Carter? Great videos, great content. OMI to the moon. Heck yes, Gary Carter. Heck yes. Heck yes. And guess what? And honestly, guys, so this has been a thing where a bunch of people are saying like, okay, yeah, Mr. Chavez, you have 100 grand Tesla stock, you have a bunch of aging receivables from your first company, and you have leftover inventory from your second company. You have these things where you can, sell and get, 5-6 figures like it's nothing, but me that works at, Target, Walmart, or Taco Bell, where I just went, and like they only have an extra $50 a week, how do I get it? Just buy and hold. Again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but up until recently, what I was doing is I was going and I was saying like, okay, I'm going to eat like poop. I'm going to eat very, very cheaply, and I'm going to save everything and risk everything. Risk it all because I'll always make it back, and buy and hold. That's just my long-term strategy. And I made a video before saying like, all right, flipper mentality, you'll make a little bit of money short-term, but not the gains that you'll see long-term mentality. So like I said, I'm eating cheaply right now. I'm doing because everything that I'm putting everything into Bitcoin and into OMI right now, because that's especially OMI. Bitcoin, I've been buying Bitcoin just so I can transfer it, just so I can get more OMI. Richard Kaner says, Fox, you're right about mining Bitcoin. It costs more electricity to mine Bitcoin than you get now. Yes. So one of the issues that a lot of people say about Bitcoin is that it's bad for the environment. It costs a lot of electricity, and I think China had like a blackout the other day and it just threw everything off. But that being said, despite the bad stuff that it comes with it, you have, and people saying that, oh well, you use that for people use it for crimes, people use it for illegal, illicit activities. Okay, well, you can use cash for illegal and illicit activities. Doesn't matter. Despite everything that's wrong with it, and there's not a lot, it's still the number one. It is the digital gold. It is the reserve currency for cryptos. Kathy Wood of ARK Invest says that if just people 5%, if they just put 5%, these big institutions put it into Bitcoin, you're going to see it. You're going to see whatever it is now, it's going to increase the price by an additional 500,000 if people just put 5% in. And I'm putting most of my net worth in, although I'm not one of these millionaires, so but most of what I have is going to go into Bitcoin and OMI. Now, outside of that, what was I saying here? Bitcoin. Oh yeah. So also another good thing for anything on GoChain, but specifically the OMI token, it's one of the most environmentally friendly things that you could think of. It's one of the most environmentally friendly coins, and actually GoChain is very, very supportive, saying like, listen, we totally care about the environment. We care about this. That's why these coins that are easy to mine, easy to stake, that's a very good bullish point. That's another reason why I'm bullish. But Bitcoin is still rising, hit 62K last week. Yeah. Bitcoin is going to be, like I said, you have Citibank and you have Bloomberg. The average, Citibank says 300 grand by the end of the year. Bloomberg says 400K by the end of the year. I don't even think it'll be that high. I think they're just, whatever they're doing, I think it'll be about 150 by the end of the year. But again, 150 by the end of the year, tripling your money, that's amazing if you buy Bitcoin right now. But at the same time, I think this OMI coin will be 10 cents by the end of the year because we are burning so much coins. We are burning so many coins every single day. About $25,000 worth of OMI coins were burned just today, or it might be tomorrow at this point. I don't know. I don't know how long I've been streaming. Yeah, Richard. So that's what Bloomberg came out. They came out with like a 9-page paper on it. It was a couple weeks ago. I did a video on it. Is BitTorrent equals crypto file sharing? Interesting. So I'm actually, outside of the stuff that I go deep into, whether it's Bitcoin, Tesla, or OMI, I actually don't know much about everything. People keep telling me about Cardano and SafeMoon, and Cardano, I'm pretty sure just based on what everyone says is that that's going to go really well as well, just because it's so cheap to make things with Cardano. And as far as NFTs goes, Ethereum, the gas fees and everything to make it is a little ridiculous. Where can I buy BTT, guys? I can't find. Yeah, I have no idea for BTT. For OMI, it's either Bit4x or Gate.io. ULYX says BTC is in the early stages. This is just the beginning. People are hilarious. They think Bitcoin is already peaked. Yeah. Like I said, I think Bitcoin goes to $1 million a coin before 2030, and I actually think that it once it surpasses gold, and instead of $1 trillion market cap value, it becomes $10 trillion market cap value. That's when I think you're going to see. I'm not just saying big institutions. I'm talking about like, oh, everyone, we're going to pay with a cup of coffee with Bitcoin. We're pay with everything with Bitcoin. And honestly, I think in the future, I think it can go to a lot more than $1 million a coin. Like, you'll see it double and triple again after that. So again, that I don't have a full Bitcoin yet. I'm selling pretty much everything I make, but I have a big Pokemon card to sell. Not this one. This is only 3,500, but again, I have a few of them, and I might even sell it for 3 just because I want to get so much more. Because even if Bitcoin was going to stay stable, okay, I'm still going to buy Bitcoin, or only, yeah, if Bitcoin is going to stay stable, I'll transfer my wealth to that, because the government keeps printing trillions of dollars each year, devaluing that money, but Bitcoin is not. So that's why, and again, these big governments that want to try to control their citizens, they can't make more Bitcoin. They can't do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer my wealth from dollars into something that cannot be devalued, which is Bitcoin, and OMI, because it's going to go to the heckin' moon. Totally BS, man, but yeah, absolutely. Hey, but would you say Bitcoin or Earth 2 is a better bet right now? Well, Earth 2, when you buy your tiles, they're your tiles. The potential for that, I think, is really unknown, and I add to my Earth 2 account every single week, mostly in Chaveztopia, but if case they happen to release a new country, yeah, I have a couple hundred set up for that, but I put 100 in there every week just to buy new tiles. That being said, Bitcoin is much safer, and well, it depends. Long term, I think what you're doing in Earth 2, I think that could get you 100x in the future. How long? I don't know. On Bitcoin, again, it's very, very safe. Earth 2 is a little bit more risky, because you can go in there and maybe it doesn't catch, maybe it doesn't take, maybe you have 6 other games like this that are just a little more well capitalized. Like, you have Facebook, you have Epic Games come in, maybe it takes a lot of market share away from Earth 2. Again, I think Earth 2 is well enough ahead and well enough into it where that's not going to happen, but anything's possible. Bitcoin's probably safer. Earth 2, I'm buying all 3 of those. We got Omi fam. Hey, what's up, Tier 1 Combat? Tier 1 Combat, let's go! Richard Cannon says, I'm disabled, don't have much to invest. Yeah, the best thing I could do is just, again, not financial advice, not financial advisor, but if I didn't have a lot of money, I just put it all into OMI, just because that's going to be the most returned. And then after that, and what I plan to do is OMI, although unfortunately, I say this, but it's not going to happen because I just don't sell. I'm going to get OMI, I'm going to say, like, you know what, I'm going to wait for it to like go to $1, and I'm going to sell it because it's 100x, and then I'm going to put it into Bitcoin. But the way I see this going is because most of the people that have, billions of OMI tokens are the people that own VV, are the people that are either angel investors or the people that own the company. And what's going to happen is that when the VV app burns so many tokens and they're down to 40% of what they originally had in their vault and their reserve, they're going to have to go to the marketplace. Now, if you're an owner of the VV app and you know that they're going to the marketplace, are you going to liquidate when it's $1? No, you're going to have other schmucks go and liquidate their stuff because they got 50x, 100x, or whatever. And then when they have to go back again and nobody else has anything, and then it's $5, then you're going to sell. But here's the thing. If they go to do that in like a year or two, and then we don't sell, if we all hodl, and it forces the other people that have billions of coins to actually liquidate some of their stuff for the sake of the app, because they have to keep the machine going, that's good for us. So like I said, I'm not going to do that even when it reaches $1, because I know they're going to have to keep doing that again and again and again. And I think this has the potential. Before I even heard of OMI, or before I looked into it, I knew I was going to be a millionaire just because of Bitcoin. just because of everything that I'm doing with Pokemon, high risk lending business. But I think it could be over $10 million net worth. Instead of 7 figures, go 8 figures because of OMI. OMI has the potential to do more than 100x, probably 1,000x because right now, at 0.006, let's say, I know it's under that right now. All it's got to reach is, $6, right? And that's $6 is 1,000x. That I'm pretty sure that'll happen this decade. And if not this decade, again, we're in the baby stages in OMI. We are a baby type Pokemon. We are not an Arcanine. We're not. I know that's a 3-stage Pokemon. We are a stage 1 Poliwag right now. We are a stage 1 Magby. That's what we are, because it's just the beginning. There's a couple 100,000 users and only 100,000 people that hold the token. This is such the beginning. And once it has mass adoption, like I said, it's the first to market of its kind. First to market, let's say like Tesla, like Amazon, that always takes share. They get the majority of the market share, and other things will try to come in. Other people, like I made a joke before, let's say the Heineken comes in and they try to go and they make NFTs of their beers and White Claws and everything, get the sports dads in, and you're going to have these other companies that are going to try, but again, first to market gets it. These people get it. No other company is doing it, at least on this level right now. You have a bunch of other people making NFTs, and most of them are god-awful, and you have some good ones. You have NBA Top Shot, which only has the NBA, and they don't have like very good history. They have like the last 5 or 10 years. There's no Michael Jordan, there's no Charles Barkley or Magic Johnson, there's no Karl the Mailman Malone or Dennis Rodman. They have people from the last 5 or so years, but people like me who grew up in the 90s, and some people older, the 80s and 90s, are just like, yeah, we want Larry Bird, we want these epic people. We don't want these guys, that are wussies right now. And what's going to happen is that because they have contracts already, the VV app has contracts with the NFL, just that alone is going to rival NBA Top Shots, not including Powerpuff Girls. And the 12 out of 10 announcement that they said, when they're going to probably get, I'm hoping Pokemon, but again, it could be Dragon Ball Z, it could be any type of anime, like Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, whatever it is. It could be the partner with Disney, because again, they have the Ultraman, which Ultraman is owned by Bandai and another company, but Bandai owns Power Rangers, so you're, along with Savant, so you're going to have the potential, the foot's in the door to have Power Ranger NFTs. They have Street Fighter, so imagine having the Green Ranger go against Ken or Ryu. It's going to be so heckin' amazing. I can't wait. I'm very excited about that. And again, not just that, but they have so many other things. I forget where I was going with this. Oh yeah, so many other potentials that they've already announced. They've announced Jurassic Park. They've announced, Pickard with Star Trek. They've announced all these things, but they haven't announced this 12 out of 10 announcement yet. And they have people knocking on their door, companies saying like, hey, make my NFTs, because it's so cheap with them, it's environmentally friendly, and you just don't see that with other companies. So I get a little bit of a tangent moving on. Please look into BTT. I will look into BNTT at some point this weekend. Need some OMI. Yes, I'm gonna put probably. I think I have, after what I do with RA Realty, I think I have over 1 million coins now, and I'm gonna try to get another 500,000 coins tomorrow, as long as the Square. If the Cash App works to my BitForex account, I'm going hard this weekend. I'm gonna put most of everything I have into it. So I'm gonna probably have a couple million OMI by May, and again, I'm gonna sell this big card, this big Pokemon card. It's gonna be over $300,000. I'm gonna probably do a 50. I'll keep 50 grand for myself, bills, whatever, life. But 150 is probably gonna go to Bitcoin. 150 is probably gonna go to OMI. And I'm retired, so I'm going to risk my retirement on OMI, on this bet. I'm going to risk. I'm not really risking anything by going into Bitcoin. That's not much. But I'm the other stuff again. There is the possibility, I don't want to get too bullish here, I don't want to get too bearish either. There's a possibility that, let's say, Facebook or Apple, they throw $100 billion at making NFTs and making their own. Facebook just launched Diem Coin, or their own cryptocurrency, so maybe they use that, and maybe they get licenses for everywhere else. Maybe they get Pokemon, although Pokemon's usually really good with their IP. But maybe they get Yu-Gi-Oh! They get all the anime, they get all the weeb nerds in like myself, they get all the Nintendo folk like myself. And maybe Facebook does that and they take market share away from Vive, and Vive goes to zero. Maybe OMI goes to zero. But I don't think so. I'm very good. My original business was in high risk lending, where I go and I look at people's bank statements, and I could tell what's a good deal and what wasn't a good deal. I had a less than a 1% default rate. I was the best at that. I can tell which way the wind's blowing. I can tell exactly what, I can read the writing on the wall. And I'm literally betting my retirement. I'm betting right now, not that much, maybe like, 5-10 grand over the last week or so, or a couple weeks. But I'm going to literally be betting 6 figures on OMI because I believe in it 100%. And again, risking retirement, where if that fails and I have to go back to work, that fails and I have to go to my girlfriend and be like, babe, I know I promised you, yeah, we moved to Florida next year, but yeah, I gotta go back to work. I gotta continue staying here, and we're gonna, turn the wheel again in the businesses. So again, that's just the commitment level I have to it. SafeMoon equals MLM of crypto scan. I have to look into SafeMoon. I haven't looked in yet. Richard Cantor says only thing I see being a possible issue is the government putting big regulations on crypto. They might do it for other things. They're not going to do it on Bitcoin though, because Bitcoin. Anyone who doesn't know who Peter Thiel is one of the smartest men in the world. He was one of the founders of PayPal, and I think he's one of the founders of Palantir as well. He very curtly told the government pretty much, hey, listen, you could try to do, you want to be, the big brother, and put restrictions on crypto, especially Bitcoin. China's not doing that. You will lose to China. China will be like that. You have your chance to solidify yourself as number one in the world, America, but it's going to be lost very, very quickly if you put restrictions on Bitcoin, because China's going to take that. So yeah, I don't believe, and again, I'm very loosely paraphrasing what he said, but I don't believe that they're going to put any restrictions on. I know some countries are. I think Turkey did, and yeah, it's weird. Like a country with like almost no GDP is going to take Bitcoin, which it did. It doesn't make sense, but anyway, moving on from that. Richard, true, too bad they can't tax it because I lost my crypto in a boat accident. Winky face. San Francisco, LOL. Oh no, Theotony GG, you lost your crypto in a boat accident. Wow. Richard Kane says, do you know anything about Pi Network? Yes, I actually do mine Pi, and actually in my description, you'll actually see a link for Pi. Speaking of which, not our sponsors, but this is my Patreon list. Crashed on the floor when I moved in the little bungalow with some strange new friends. The Pi Network is very, very good, I think, because if you read their white paper versus B's white paper, people usually go Pi and B and throw them in the same sentence. The doctors, the professors from Stanford that did Pi, the white paper looks much more, I don't say much more better. The B Network white paper looks very amateurish compared to Pi's, which looks much more professional. And I like Pi for the sole reason that most of the people that mine crypto, they're all like one group. Or that mine Bitcoin are all just one group. But those of us that are mining Pi on our cell phones, it's not like, okay, we have to go, these people are the gods because they're mining all the Bitcoin. No, like we're all mining Pi by ourselves. It's great. They have that Know Your Customer network. And you have to be able, you can't just go to Pi, download the app and start mining. You need a referral code. And if you want to mine Pi, my link is down below. You get a free Pi if you go and use that code. It's like ChavvyCat5, I think. So yeah, I like it. When I think it comes out, it's probably going to be like 5 or 10 cents. It's not going to be a lot, per Pi. It's similar to Stellar Luna or Stellar, whatever that's called. But it's going to have about 80 something billion, coins, whereas Stellar Luna has like a fourth of that. And if, Stellar Luna is about 40 cents, Pi is going to be about 1/4 of that. So figure about 10 cents, give or take. Rich said, I've been mining for over a year now. It's free to mine Pi. Yeah, and that's the other thing. It doesn't ruin your processor or your battery. All I wake up in the morning, let me hit that, yeah, and then we're good. And that's it. That's all I do for the day. And then I ping my inactive members. Johnny says, hi, yep, gosh darn, I wish I could pay taxes. Oh well, but it's at the bottom of the sea. Too bad. Be living in Mexico and Bitcoin is $1 million. Jack Mitchell says, a friend of mine has a lot of OMI, 160 million. Oh my God, he made 15x his investment, wants to cash out, but claims there's not enough liquidity in the market. Does this sound about right to you? Yes, so that actually is an issue with a couple of things. There's the stock, it's an issue with penny stocks. It depends on the volume in the market. Right now, there are too few users. There's only 100,000 of us that own OMI and are consistently buying. what he would probably do is if he tries to sell, let's say half of that, or even a quarter, let's say 40 million coins, it's going to take a lot of buying power. Where people like me, if I put in 1 million coins, that's a couple $1,000, that's like $6,000. And he needs to do that 40 times. Yeah, that's a lot. He can't do that all at once. That is going to be, if he wants to sell little by little, 1 million coins here, 1 million coins there, yeah, that might work, or even 500,000 coins here and there. That might work as well, but just the market's not that big enough yet. And you see that with penny stocks as well, where just like, okay, I want to buy, but nobody's selling. As the price up, it's like, I want to sell, but nobody's buying at this price, so you got to lower the price, and yeah, that's just what happens sometimes. And that could be a reason why, the volatility in this could stay for a long time. I don't care if I buy tomorrow, I buy $6,000 worth of OMI at 0.006 cents, and then the next day it goes down to 0.003. I'm not thinking, oh my God, I just lost half my money. I just lost $3,000. Everything I put in was cut in half. No, I'm like, how do I put in $6,000 more so I can dollar cost average and buy more? Because that's so cheap. And again, short term, I don't know or care what it's going to do. Long term, I'm pretty sure I know where this is going. So Yuki says, you never know. Cinema Chakmul says, attempted to download BitForex. My iPhone wanted me. This was a China United. Yes, so it is. They are located in Hong Kong, I believe. There was some concerns on BitForex. There's one person I saw, I think on Reddit or whatever, said that he tried to deposit like 4 Bitcoin and it just vanished and support wasn't helping him. I don't know if that guy was a little funky, if he was doing something that he wasn't supposed to be doing. Apparently, also, you're supposed to use a memo. I think, again, I haven't used it yet. Aria Realty has, but I haven't used it yet. But apparently, if you don't put a memo, it might get lost. So I just started with very, very small portions with memos from them. Are you with China? I am an American. Well, technically, I'm Peruvian, but no, I'm an American. I was a senior airman, United States Air Force. I was actually served with Aria Realty. If you know who he is, great, not a big deal. Yeah, so I'm very, very, very much an American. I've deployed for this country. I've bled for this country. I have sacrificed my body for this country. 100% American, even though I'm Peruvian. He is China. Aria Realty, you can't just say I'm China. You can't just say things like that. People are going to believe you. Kyle Christensen, what up, amigos? Matt says, what do you think of NCAT? I'm not 100% sure what NCAT is, so let me know. Comment down below if you know what NCAT is. Chema Chakmul says, Randy seems like the perfect image of a China plant. I mean, I think, well, yeah, because they probably wouldn't put one of their own in this position. They would probably put someone that doesn't look like China. Like, for example, if you want to have if you want to go undercover, like I would be good to go undercover in Russia, not as an American, but I would go as a Cuban. Again, I'm Peruvian, I'm not Cuban, but can white people tell the difference between Mexican, Colombian, Brazil? No, they cannot. No, they cannot. So if I go to Russia and I start speaking Spanish to them, and which again, I know a little bit of Spanish and a little bit of Russian. So I'd be like, Привет, меня зовут Randy. Oh no, that's French. Yavrnus. It is like I'll be back, and I just say, I make an introduction as Russian, and even though my Russian is not that strong, I say like, can we talk in Spanish? My Russian's a little rusty, and then that way they think, okay, I'm a Cuban, and why would I go undercover as a Cuban? Because Cuba is, you could play on the Cold War alliance that there was between Russia and Cuba. And also the fact that a Cuban, especially a Cuban that speaks Russian, is not going to help America. Cubans are not going to help America. You go to, yeah, so, and the same thing would work. But for me to go undercover in the US as a China mole, I don't think would work. Just because I don't know any Chinese, I don't know any Mandarin. Also, I am not that good left-handed. Chinese special forces, they are trained to shoot with very precision with right and their left hand. I cannot shoot with my left hand that well. It's always right hand, and yeah, I also have a bad eye, my left eye. So, thank you for your service. Oh, thank you, Richard Kane. I appreciate that support. If that is all the comments, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Like, Patreon down below. Super chats are always appreciated as well. One more comment. What's up, Randy bro? Can't wait to join Chaveztopia. Bring the IPAs. You know what cool shit? I've got a case of Heineken and White Claw right over there. And some Taco Bell that I haven't eaten yet. It's been 40 minutes, so it's probably cold now. I love you guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Please like that video. It's only 4 likes and there's 16 of y'all. All right, I love you guys. Goodbye. Meow, 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 meow.